been kidnapped. So many harassments were going on. But by the grace of Krishna, I went to America in 65. Now it is 77. After 11-12 years of struggle, I was loitering in the street. Who cared for me? But it is now being recognized that here is a movement. Now we have to utilize it. I always put this logic to my students. Andapangu Nyay. For the benefit of whole world, American money and Indian culture should combine. That will bring benefit to the whole world. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10 and Text 6. Tapasa hi yadamanena Tapasa hi yadamanena Vidhyaya cha Atma samstaya Vidyaya chatma samstaya Vivruddha Vijnana Balaha Vivruddha Vijnana Balo Jnapa Vayum Sahambasa Jnapad Vayum Sahambasa Tapasahi Adamanena Vidhyaya Chatma Samstaya Vivruddha Vijnana Balo Jnapad Vayum Sahambasa. Tapasa, by penance, he certainly yadamanena, increasing, vidyaya, by transcendental knowledge, cha, also, atma, self, samstaya, situated in the self, vivruddha, matured, vijnana, practical knowledge, balaha, power, jnapad, drank, vayum, the wind, saha ambasa, along with the water. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahmā in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. Please repeat. Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma's struggle for existence is a personal example of the continued fight between the living entities in the material world and the illusory energy called Maya. Beginning from Brahma down to this age, the living entities are struggling with the forces of material nature. By advanced knowledge and science and transcendental realization, one can try to control the material energy which works against our endeavors. And in the modern age, advanced material scientific knowledge and penance have played very wonderful roles in controlling the powers of the material energy. Such control of the material energy, however, can be most successfully carried out if one is a soul surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and carries out his order in the spirit of loving transcendental service. Dasanasta Bhaktivedanta Purpoto Madhyanatimiran Dasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ehana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in the last verse we have seen Lord Brahma was the seat on which he seated the lotus, and the water from which the lotus has grown. Both these two are trembling because of a fierce wind. So suddenly from nowhere the wind has appeared, started shaking the existence of Brahma. Now here we see Brahma, because of his mature practical knowledge, he handled that awkward situation. What did he do? Vivruddha Vijnana Bala. Vivruddha means increased or matured. Matured practical knowledge. Vijnana is practical, Jnana is theoretical. Our any education begins with theory and gradually matures into Vijnana, becomes practical. So Brahma, his Jnana has matured into Vijnana, Vivruddha Vijnana Bala. And then as the knowledge matures into Vijnana, there is a Bala, there is a power by which they will be able to handle the material forces. So in this world, the material energy or the material nature is continuously bringing various kinds of situations to the people's life, and how they face it, how they face these waves, that depends on Vivruddha Vijnana Bala, how much one has matured. So the material scientists, they try to handle these waves, Maya forces, by advancement in tourist. Actually, he himself is a scientist. The news came recently, long and become immortal. He has predicted that. Because there are so many people predicting many scientific innovations. But Kajwal has become popular because it is said that almost 80 to 90% of his predictions came true in the past. So everybody is excited about this possibility of without disease and live long, immortal. According to him, the robo technology, the artificial intelligence will reach to such a level that one day they will be able to make nano robots. They're called nanobots. So he says these nanobots are controlled by artificial intelligence, and they go to it and becomes overall he will be decayed, and then ultimately he dies. So he is saying we will ensure that as soon as the cell is little decayed, because these nanobots are artificially intelligent, they're all smart enough, they'll figure out, okay, there is some decay here. Immediately they take steps. They know what to do. Why? Because intelligence is there. They're all nicely programmed. And so they immediately repair the cell and then keep the cell active, keep the cell from decaying. And then if I can do for each and every cell like that, maybe each nanobot can handle few cells, they'll come up with some system. And then if mankind can do that, so he says that then you don't have any disease, cell level diseases are controlled, so the overall there is no disease. And if there is no disease, then human beings can live longer, they become immortal. This is his prediction. And as he rightly predicted, the advancements in robot technologies and artificial intelligence have really reached, or at least they have reached a very big level recently after Gopad, as this age. So, anyway, coming back to this prediction, immortality, as a theory it looks so nice. Ordinarily only we are not getting power in some of the states. They will have 8-hour power cuts or 10-hour power cuts like that. So now imagine each and every body has to be given power to run these nanobots. And let us say you have some 1,000 nanobots in the body. What if one nanobot malfunctions? Instead of doing like this, it does like this. Finish. Brain will be finished. So each and every bot has to perfectly work. Then immortality is. It's all looking like Hiranyakashipu's conditions. No animal, no human being, not daytime, not nighttime. Similarly, 24/7, this. So finally, all these inventions and the discoveries of these Hiranyakashipus will only find destruction. They'll be smashed. It is impossible for the human being to control the nature. Natural forces will work. So apparently they may have some freedom to control, the way Prabhupada is saying in the purport. Yes, the human being has controlled the forces of nature, but that controlling is within a very small, limited realm. But actual problems that Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, there are only 4 problems for us. Rest of the problems are tiny or our own created. There are only 4 problems that we have to deal with, that is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age and disease. See how Krishna very interestingly he summarizes. All problems are actually not problems. These are the only 4 problems. Other problems are we only created and we are only struggling to handle them. Otherwise, the real problems are Janma, Mrityu, Jara, old age, Vyadhi, disease. Now they are trying to target this. How to conquer the disease, how to conquer the old age, stay young, and finally how to conquer the death. This tendency is there in each one of the human being because it is natural for the soul to think like that. Soul doesn't know what is old age. It doesn't know what is birth. It has no death. Na jayate mruyate va kadachin. There is no birth, there is no death for the soul. It has no experience of old age. It has no experience of disease. All these things are foreign to the soul. They're all new. That's why no one likes this. Jai Radha. That's why no one likes this. Nobody likes death. Nobody likes old age. Vijnana, bhala, that bala is required. Otherwise, it is simply thinking that they will become very mature. Of course, if the old people are almost like invalid and then they can't do much, obviously, although desires and thoughts may be there, but the body pain is so much, they'll not be able to focus on them. This is what happens. Otherwise, everybody remains young inside. So, those forces, nobody is trying to master these forces. The forces which are there inside us and making us feel uncomfortable, that nobody is trying to master them. They are all trying to master the forces which they see in the outside world. How to master the force of gravitation, the force of interplanetary, whatever that force, or all this is what they are trying to do. They are all trying to control the forces outside, but actually there are many forces inside that they don't understand. So here Prabhupada is saying, if somebody takes to self-realization, a Krishna conscious process, then only by that he will be able to handle this material energy. To handle and handle this material energy, people use science and technology. Like he is saying about nanobots, but we understood that there are so many conditions like this. It is not possible. The death will come in such a way that some condition is broken and tuck it comes death. Exactly like yesterday we were discussing, Hiranyakashipu placed so many conditions. He said, death cannot come like this, like this, like this. But finally death came. By satisfying all those conditions, but still death came. So similarly, these technologies to make us amara, immortal, they may look very fancy, possible, beautiful, but actually death will come. Those four things nobody can handle. Simply because they have some tiny achievements in science. They should not extrapolate and think, now I can conquer this more, the four major problems of life. That okay, text can be converted to speech can be converted to text, or about how robots may come up, how this may come up. He predicted all of them are coming true. That's okay, but you cannot extrapolate beyond your capacity and say that yes, now we have a solution for these four. So this is the danger. That's why sometimes scientists, they become very proud and they say there is no God because we are able to do what God could not do. For example, mobile, God has According to their thinking, He has not created. We create. God created only earth, water, fire, air, ether, all those things. We created. This is what they say. For example, you call a carpenter to your house and you supply all the ingredients. Wood is there, supply the wood. In fact, even the tools, everything you supply. And asking, you do this chair, you do. Let us say he does the chair using that wood and blah blah, all those things, all the tools and all that. To whom the chair belongs to? Chair belongs to the owner who gave the ingredients and tools and all that, or to the carpenter? If the carpenter says, "Sir, I have made a beautiful chair, it's all mine, I'll take it away now with me," then you will immediately become alert. Similarly, God has given all these ingredients. He has given a tool also for us. This body is a tool given to the soul. And He has given all these ingredients. Panchabhuta, those 24 elements are there for you to play with. And you take this and combine and make a nice laptop or computer or mobile. You cannot claim ownership of that. That mobile, laptop and this and that, you cannot claim. The ownership belongs to God, Krishna. Krishna only allowed you, okay, chalo, you are very excited about making you are like a carpenter. You want to do something, okay, do. I'll give you all these materials and you do. It doesn't mean that they'll become owners. So, here, these people, they make small inventions and they think, now we have become the owner. We are the owners of all this. In fact, they take over the technology name as their own name. So-and-so law, Pascal law, Boyle's law, and this law, that law. they take over God's laws. Who has kept those laws? Krishna has kept, and they take over. Actually, all those laws are already existing. It's not that this fellow has created anything there. He's simply naming, that's all. That is one nowadays, they rename the cities. Long ago, somebody has renamed. Now they're again renaming. Already city is there. City is already there, and we go on naming it. Similarly, in the material nature, already laws are existing. Who created? Who is the law maker? And that question nobody asks. This is the problem. Otherwise, they are all Krishna's laws. It's not gravitational law, it is Krishna's law. Gravitational law is a very approximate law. It's not a full description. Actual law is that Sankarshana is holding all these planetary systems and material existence. It is Sankarshan law. Not Newton's law. Newton's law is a tiny, approximate, not a full description. So, the scientists, in the name of science and technology, they create many things, but they think now we are able to control. COVID, for example, we have controlled. We have vaccine. See, COVID came and immediately it looks like, yes, they control, no, there is no this thing. So, one disease you have controlled. COVID you have control. But disease you have not controlled. Overall, you have not eradicated the disease. COVID, one day it will become. Now COVID has lot of numbers. COVID, some B1, B2, B3, C1, 1.1, 1.2. Now something is going on now. We don't even know that number. You will not be able to eradicate COVID. By your vaccines and all these programs, what you have done is you have increased the number of diseases. Nowadays, we are hearing the diseases which we never heard in the entire history of India. All kinds of diseases. I mean, we cannot even pronounce. Hundreds and thousands of diseases are there. This cyst, that cyst, neurosis, fibrosis, this so many problems are there. So apparently Maya gives you an experience. Yes, you have controlled COVID. But actually, when you try to control something, it multiplies into some 3-4 diseases. Whoever has taken vaccine, we don't know what is going to happen. The results will come out one by one, one by one, one by one. For now, it is working. Already there are many articles about this vaccines. Anyway, I don't want to tell. So here, but Prabhupada is saying, if somebody, then you may say, then you mean to say all this science and technology is not useful or a waste of time? No, it is waste of time for you, but it is not waste of time for us. For Krishna conscious people, it is very useful. So you discover and hand over to us. You don't use it because you will not be able to, it will not help you. You cannot make any betterment unless God permits it. You cannot make any betterment. So this technology and science, if it is used for Krishna's purpose, here Prabhupada is saying, a soul surrendered unto Krishna and carries out his order. This is important. Carpenter made chair. If somebody, how the chair should be used? Say carpenter takes over. He says, I only sit in this. This is my chair. He gets into trouble. Similarly, you may create all these technologies, but the owner is Krishna. According to owner's direction, you have to utilize the technology. If you say, no, I'll use it for my own purpose. I am the owner now. This is law, is named after me. I am the this thing. I have a patent. This patent is nothing but taking over Krishna's, all those laws. I have a patent. So I will, that's all. Anybody uses it, they have to pay me. But rascal, where are you paying? You're not paying anything. It is already existing there. So as soon as they think that it is mine and trying to use it for their own purpose, they'll get into trouble. The material nature will not allow. So the best utilization is, if somebody is surrendered to the Supreme Lord and carries out his order, Krishna's order, in the spirit of loving transcendental service. The very key words here. The service, the order has to be carried out in a spirit of loving transcendental. It's a service to Krishna in that spirit. Lovingly we are offering to Krishna. In that spirit, you will be able to offer the matter back to Krishna. And that is called Yukta Vairagya. We don't want to use it for ourselves. We use it for Krishna. And very lovingly one uses it. Then that becomes Yukta. Only Yukta Vairagya can relieve you from the sufferings inflicted by Maya. Otherwise, we will be beaten up. Left, right and center will be beaten up. Maya is like that. So, here it is mentioned that tapasahi edamanena vidhyaya atma samstito. A very crucial knowledge this is, Krishna consciousness. And the process is, one has to realize is atma samstaya. That means situated in the self. Actually, self-realization means there are so many paths and so many theories about this self and what is the nature of the self, what is the soul. Nobody knows. But in Krishna consciousness, from day one he understands what is his nature of the soul and what is the function of the soul. Atma samstaya means he has to be situated in self. No, how can I situate myself in the self? Currently we are situated in this body. So that guidance is given by the spiritual master. Mahaprabhu has wonderfully narrated our nature, the soul's nature. He says we are all, looks very simple, we are all eternal servants of Krishna. So this has become so easy for us, but actually to reach to this conclusion, it takes a very, very difficult for people to understand. Atma samstaya means you should exist in this world as a servant of Krishna. That's all. Whatever you may be doing, you may be studying, you may be working, you may be doing this business and this. You act like servant of Krishna. This is all my Lord's property, and I have to offer to Him. I have to exist according to His order. If somebody acts exactly like Krishna's servant, that's the perfect Atma Samstaya. I am the servant of the Almighty Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the mood. Day by day, when he exists in this understanding that I am a servant of Supreme Lord. My master, Prabhupada, is given this wonderful knowledge, and how to remain in this consciousness, that Prabhupada has given in his books. How to lead our day-to-day life as an eternal servant of God, eternal servant of Krishna. That is the wonderful, that is called Vidyaya Atma Samstaya. That is the Vidya. Vidya means it should tell you how to situate yourself in the soul. That is Vidya. If they tell you how to enhance comforts and enjoyment for the body, that is Avidya. Vidya means how to remain as a servant of God. That is Vidya. Other than that, it's all Avidya. Vidyaya Atma Samstaya Vivruddha. Then as you act like servant of God, Krishna, then it increases. Vivruddha, Vijnana Bala. Then Vijnana Bala will increase. As the devotees practice. See, if somebody is doing service, that means he is acting like servant. He is acting like servant. So as he goes on serving, he is acting like servant. You will see his Vijnana Bala. He will as a servant, and then with that he will be able to counteract these forces which are coming into his life. The is so powerful, he simply swallowed. Getting trouble, he simply swallowed. Where is the technology? Technology which Brahma has. He simply swallowed the those elements which are disturbing him. We advance in our Krishna consciousness. Okay. Swallowing the wind and the water, but at least properly.
Are created by humans. You have to be certified and you will be shown as some green, but they have some condition, side effects and all. This process are there, means how can we engage in Krishna's service, so-called certifications and all this.
let them figure out a system of certification, and if it has some preaching value, then we will use it in Krishna's service. We will also become green. One green expert told me, he's an expert in this green. Green means environmental friendly. He told me, Swamiji, you know what is the highest greenhouse? He asked. A house to be certified as a green thing. I said, okay, tell me what is that. He said, in our in old generations, they used to have a house with those red penkulu, and then in the middle there is a courtyard, open to the sky, open to the water. There is a courtyard, and the toilets are little distance from the main house. In the old houses you will see all. He says this is the best green technology. So already our ancestors were living in highest technology, and you called and said, oh, you're all aborigines, you don't know any technology. And then you introduced your technology and spoiled everybody. Now you are saying, see, now we brought green technology and then selling the same things to us. Whatever they are doing, they are selling the same things to us. This is what, these people who are in Maya, they try to project themselves as though they have invented something. Actually, all confirmed knowledge is there in the Vedas. No need of this experimentation. You try this house, that house, this house, that, everything fails. Finally, you come up with one green technology and certification and all that. And what are you doing? Experimental civilization this is. Try this, fail ho gaya. Try that, fail ho gaya. No. It goes on. And there is no end to this. So, an experimental theory or experience, practice, piloting, this is one this thing. But actually, in our civilization, it was not like that. Vedas give the confirmed knowledge. This is what it is. But what can be done? For example, Manu Samhita says, stool should not be put into water. It should directly go to earth. It becomes even very manure, nutritious, and this and that. Stool. But then all our systems are developed in such a way that you have to flush and you have to do this. It all goes into the water. Very dangerous contaminations are waiting. We are getting fresh water, when flushing, it goes. And all this is going and again mixing in the same river. On one side you are drawing water for our drinking, on the other side you are mixing all these things. Now you think we can be healthy? This is just one problem of this so-called advancement. So now they're slowly realizing some countries are going back to that. Stool is, they say no, bio. What is bio? You collect all these things and put it into the earth. So this bio industry is going to be 100 billion industry, and then everybody, oh yes. That's what they are doing. They used to go in the villages. Even now they just go to the field and then do all those things and come off. That's all. Some of you from the villages, what, that's the bio. Nothing big. They converted that into big industry. And as soon as somebody goes into the woods and then passes all these things, then there is some pigs available to finish off, and that's all. Nothing is, it's all clean. Or it merges into the earth. But now problem is that, yes, because of whatever, we cannot go like that outside. Yes, then there's a requirement. And then even if you go and then somebody passes stool also, there are no pigs, they're eating pigs. Pigs are not available. This is not available. So then what happens to all this? We have created a civilization where there are so many issues. Urbanization has so many issues, they have no solution, but everybody is moving towards urbanization. If you say all these things, then they'll say, oh, you are not progressive. And why are you there in the urban areas? Yes, we are here to benefit you, to tell you that this is the problem, and to benefit you we are here. Otherwise, devotees have no such expectations. They are happy with villages, they are happy with anything. But then, yes, this knowledge of Krishna is so important that devotees are taking risk to live in such cities, to help people to understand what is the ultimate goal. Otherwise, we cannot manipulate this energy and ensure that there is no problem at all. Okay, so Vedas is the confirmed knowledge. One should investigate, research the Vedic knowledge, and accordingly create technologies and systems. I think probably, in the next few years, probably people are looking at sustainable methods. They may look into all this, and we may see some interesting innovations coming. India has a good chance in this. Okay. Wind up here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
హరే టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.